Hey, how's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. I am. Uh, Doing fairly decent. Been kind of a long day, but it's all worth it. Makes for nice paychecks. So anyway, here. I got another unboxing to do. This is it's called a welcome block, and basically what it is the subscription service called Nerdblock. It's something that you can get right now as part of the special promotion they have going on. I don't know how long they'll have it for. Um, Basically what is Nerdblock has, there's like 6 or 7 different subscriptions that they offer. They have Arcade Block, they have Horror Block, they have the classic Nerd Block, they have Nerd Block Junior for boys or girls, which is geared towards kids from I'd say like 6, 7 years old up to probably like mid-teen. They have a comic block, and they just recently added a sci-fi block. Right now, if you subscribe to any of those, whether you subscribe by on a month-to-month basis or whether you pay the additional money up front and subscribe for 3, 6, or up to a year at once, they send you a welcome block, and it's basically like getting a free sampler of their blocks because what it's supposed to have in it are items that they've previously given out and their other blocks in previous months. So you get kind of a mix of the different ones. So the one I actually subscribe to, that's I'm pretty sure they say it normally ships on the 25th, but it's a comic block. I don't really collect comics anymore. I kind of got out of it, but for the price, it works out to be about $20 a month. And I thought, why not? Especially because it includes actually, 3 comics or graphic novels. A lot of times they have variant covers that were specifically done for comic block, which maybe not right away, but in the long run will probably add some decent value to the comics. Most variants do. Um, and then it comes with a comic-inspired item, and then it comes with an exclusive comic-based T-shirt that you can only get through the comic block. And I mean, come on, T-shirt. Who doesn't love T-shirts? Especially exclusive ones. I mean, hell, I probably got, well, not exclusive ones, but I probably got 50 T-shirts in my closet right now that I never wear. So I figure, what the hell? Why not add some more? Especially on $20 a month. I mean, hell, you can go out and pay $20 just for a freaking shirt. So anyway, that's comic block. We'll get to that when it comes. Probably, let's see, today's the 15th, so figure about 2 weeks. It's 10 days from now, and then you got to figure in a few days for shipping probably. Because I think they're based out of Canada, so it does take, I think this one took about a week to get here. Anyway, here it is. You can see there's the Nerdblock Junior, Horror Block. That's the regular Nerdblock, Arcade Block, and Comic Block. And they don't have the sci-fi block on here, but that's one that they just added. So. Alright, well, let's get to it. Alright. Let's see. It feels like a little book or something. This is obviously, well, yeah. You can see it's from the Horror Block, Notebook of the Dead. And it's just a blank notebook to write stuff in, draw pictures, whatever you want to do. I don't know whether I'll ever actually use it for anything. I probably should write notes just because I forget crap all the time. But most likely, if I wrote a note, then I would just forget that I wrote a note. So it'd be kind of pointless. But anyway, for those... Shit. Flew right on my hand. Those in the know would recognize this. This is, in case you don't, this is Necronomicon, which is from the Evil Dead movies, of which I think they've done 4 movies. Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, and then Army of Darkness. And then they just recently, what was like this past year, maybe the year before, I can't remember when exactly it was. I actually haven't seen it myself yet, but they redid Evil Dead. Um, I love the classics. They got Bruce Campbell in them. I think they're really well done. They're done by Sam Raimi. If you haven't checked them out, even if you're not a real big horror fan, I would say check them out. If you can stand a little gore and a little over the top stuff, they're really good movies. They got kind of almost a comic edge to them too, along with the horror. And this is like really one of the main characters of those movies. It's the Necronomicon, and this is what the characters end up reading out of when they find it, and it basically unleashes, for lack of a better term, like hell on them. Um, you know, demons and supernatural forces. And, I'm not getting any details about what all happens, but the movies are really good. So this is pretty cool. Like I said, I don't think I'll ever actually use it to write any notes, but I can, put it out there. And actually, I could put it in. When I bought the Evil Dead most recently, which I mean it's been a few years, but when I bought it on DVD again, I bought the one that was actually came in the kind of like spongy, almost like skin feeling case that looks like this. So maybe I'll just put that in there. That way I know where it's at. I won't lose it. When I say I bought again because like a geek when it comes to movies, especially horror movies. If they bring out a movie and I buy it, and then they bring it out again with like additional footage, and then I'm like, oh shit, now I gotta buy it again. And then of course, then they bring it out with like a statue or something, and then like total geek. I'm like, oh yeah, oh $100, okay, yeah, sure, I'll get it. Got to. Like Night of the Living Dead, classic Romero film. Excellent. He don't get the credit he really deserves for that film. I mean, from what I understand, he's like never really made any money off of it. I mean, he was like the mastermind behind the film itself. I mean, the actual stories that it is based on, that weren't just his. But if you ever look at John Russo's book Undead. Pretty sure that's what the title of it is. I think I got a couple copies of it up in the library from Cemetery Dance Publications. But yeah, I mean that's basically I believe it's 2 separate stories, but that's essentially what Night of the Living Dead was loosely based on. But Romero, I mean he really deserves credit for being what he is. I mean, with all the zombie films he's brought out, it's just unbelievable. Anyway, I'm gonna ramble off and get off the subject here. What I was saying, Night of the Living Dead, I bought it on VHS probably 2 or 3 times. I probably bought it on DVD 4 or 5 times. Because they keep bringing it out again. I always have to buy it again. Alright, anyway, next. We have a Nerdblock exclusive item. I don't know what it is, but yeah. It's hard to get into. I know that much. Maybe that's the key. That's the game right there. Is how long are you gonna fuck around with trying to get the package open? Oh, there we go. I think. All right, I got it. All right. Staple. Don't need that. It's called a clicker. I'm assuming because of that noise that it makes. But looks like it's just a little thing that you can bend in all kinds of different shapes and stuff. Might be fun for a little while, I guess, if you're like really bored. You know what it reminds me of? People that lived through the 80s will probably remember what I'm talking about, but like me, you probably don't remember what the hell it's called. Um, But I want to say it was a little bit bigger than a Rubik's Cube, and when it was all folded up, it was kind of like an octagonal or kind of like a round shape. And the pieces of it were actually, pretty sure they were like triangular in shape. But then you could fold it out, and I want to say it was like almost called a snake or something. But you could fold it out, and it would, I mean, it was. Nobody's seeing the camera. I want to say it folded out to like 18 inches or so. But then you could twist it and make all kinds of different shapes and stuff. Again, that was one of those things. I mean, it was fun when you first got it, and then after you played with it for about 10 minutes, you were like, yeah, I've pretty much done everything I can do with this. So this is like the mini me of whatever the hell that thing was called from the 80s. So yeah. If my daughter wasn't so old, I'd almost give it to her. Actually, I guess she could use it. She could just wear it as a bracelet or something. Yeah. Anyway. Next. We got Nerdblock, a Coaster of Kings. I'm assuming this is maybe Game of Thrones. Does that sound right? There's like a dragon, and I mean they're basically just like real thin, like basic coasters. That one's got like a elk or something on it. This one, I like this one. This one's got kind of like the wolf or the hound of hell. And then you got that one that's, I don't know. It almost kind of looks like this now. Almost reminds me of like the way they like drew lions back in, like that time in history. But anyway, these will actually come in handy. I used to have quite a few coasters, and they eventually they just kind of disappeared over time. Maybe the dog ate them or something. I don't know. But I like using coasters just so I don't get crap all over the furniture. But yeah, I'll have to put those out in the theater room and do some quality assurance and actually test them out. Actually, I got a can of pop right here. Let's yeah, there, free promo, Mountain Dew, do the do. They work. All right, hey, not only is it something neat, but it actually does what it's supposed to. So that's always a bonus. All right, we've got. Oh, it's like a welcome card, and there's, it shows like all the different blocks that you can get. Yeah, and they got the sci-fi block one on here. So if you really, I mean, if you're looking for something, if you got a little bit of geek in you, nerd, whatever you want to call it, there's nothing to be ashamed of with that. Everybody likes something in that regard, whether it's horror movies or fantasy or sci-fi or reading books or comics, figures, computers, all that stuff. It's all in the same thing. Video games, or if you got kids, like I said, the junior ones would be really good because I mean, not only I mean, it'd be a surprise for you as the parent as well as for your kids because you wouldn't know exactly. I mean, the one thing you can guaranteed is that everything in those boxes will be kid friendly. Okay, it's not going to be over the top. It's not going to be like horror or anything like that. And I mean, it'll be something that they could really get into because each month then they'll get one and it'll be a surprise each month. So if you get it for them for Christmas as a Christmas present, you can say, okay, here, you got this one, and you're gonna not just that one, but each month you're gonna get another one for the next 5 months or next year, whatever, however you want to do it. So I'd recommend, like I said, on average, most of these work out to be the price along with shipping anywhere from 20. Like the comic block, I think with shipping is like 20 bucks. Some of the other ones might end up being more like 25. But it's worth it because you normally get like 40 or $50 worth of items in them. Uh, and you're almost guaranteed. I mean, if you subscribe to a block that's something you really like, whether it's horror or sci-fi, it's pretty much given that you're gonna at least like. You might not love everything you get in each box. There might be some things you just don't know, or maybe there might be something in that genre that you never really got into. But most of the stuff you're gonna like. That's my feeling. So anyway, that's a card. I probably won't hold on to that. Really don't need it. So throw that in trash. All right, next. I was just kind of peeking to see like how much more stuff's in here. Okay. This is like one of those little felt sports banners. It says the Boston Vault Dwellers. There's some guy with like a big, it looks like a big, reminds me like those big ass Nerf guns that you can get, or those big ass water pistols that you can buy now that are, you know, they look like they're designed to equip our military with in case they want to soak the enemy army. And that's what these things do. I mean, they pump out like 10 gallons of water or something like that. It's freaking nuts. Hell, who needs a swimming pool? You get one of these bazooka water launchers. But honestly, I don't really know what that's referring to. Whether that's like referring to a video game or a comic or something, or I don't know. So if anybody has a clue about that, give me comment and uh, give me a heads up. I do know that this, even though I don't know what it is, I got a little bit of space left out in my sports bar, and this is kind of like sports oriented, so that's probably where I'll put that at, is out in the sports bar. Next, I think there's only one thing left in here, and it was, I mean, not a big box, but it was a box. Alright, it's a Titan figure. I don't think I've actually gotten any Titan figures. A bit of a glare. Okay, there's a Titan figure. There's that side showing, and of course you can see it's from Breaking Bad. All the different side. Look, that side looks exactly like that side. But it says it's a Nerdblock exclusive, and this is a Saul Goodman, 4.5-inch figure. I think I've seen a few episodes of Breaking Bad. Unfortunately, well, not really unfortunately. As far as watching certain shows, yeah, I can say unfortunately I don't have cable, but overall, I don't think it's unfortunate that I don't have cable. I personally, I would not pay for cable. I would not pay for Dish. I would not pay for any of those services just because, I mean, they cost so damn much. Yeah, they give you the great deal for what, like the first year or whatever, okay, and then it just gets jacked up, and I mean, one, I don't need even like what's basic cable even now. I mean, how many channels does it come with? I mean, even like 100, even if it was only like 100 channels, which maybe, basic cable maybe don't come with all that, but I mean, if you get like one of the premier cable packages, you end up. I think my parents have like 400 channels. I mean, granted, a lot of them you can't actually access. They don't show up with any because they're pay-per-view or blah 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 whatever. And some of them are like the real pay, the additional pay on top of what you're already paying, like HBO and stuff like that. Which, I mean, those are cool. Those are, pretty good movie channels. But again, on top of what you're already paying for cable, and then you have to pay the additional to get stuff like that. Just especially in this day and age with computers and streaming ability. I mean, I've got a Roku 3 on both my TVs. And I mean, I can pretty much find something to watch on that any day of the week, regardless of the time. I mean, there's so many different options to choose from. And not to mention, the Roku now includes, I mean, you have to pay for it. It's like $20 a month, but they got the Sling TV, which is like 12 of the most popular cable channels. And it's got like ESPN, Comedy Central, TBS, maybe TNT. I can't remember what the other ones are. I'd say like HGTV or something. I read about it once, and I've been thinking maybe after the holidays, going ahead and getting that way, just because I know there's a number of football games that you can only watch on like ESPN, so it'd be nice on the weekends. But the camera kind of froze there for a second. That was kind of weird. Anyway, so I don't have cable, so I don't really get to watch, this on a regular basis when it was on. I might eventually pick it up, like on DVD, get all the seasons and watch it, because I've heard a lot of people give it really good thumbs up. So that's pretty cool. But that's it. That's it for the welcome block. It's pretty impressive. Should be getting my first comic block probably towards the end of the month. Nice Halloween present. Hey, I think you should get presents for Halloween. It's my favorite holiday, really. It is. Outside of Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is actually my favorite holiday, which you might find weird because, heck, I'm a single guy. I haven't found Mrs. Right yet. But no, it's not for that reason. The reason Valentine's Day is my favorite holiday is because that is my beautiful daughter's birthday. So, but second to that, and real close to that, it's got to be Halloween. And then Christmas. And then Labor Day. Not because we get off. I don't get off work on Labor Day. Do you get off work on Labor Day? I know a lot of people do. Which I never understood that. Why celebrate a day about work, but then having to work? Personally, I think, if we're going to celebrate Labor Day as a holiday, then everybody, I mean, outside of actual services that we need to be running, doctors, nurses, police, firemen, stuff like that, but all like regular, just your run-of-the-mill jobs, office workers, factory workers, post office. Well, I mean, the post office gets it off anyhow, but everybody else. Hey, it's a day celebrating work. So let's celebrate by not having to work. That's just my thought. Anyway, this video's run on, so we're going to call it a night. I'm going to go watch a little TV or something, and then head to bed. Just back to the grind at 4 a.m. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you didn't, well, I don't know what to tell you. I'll see you again when I get either my next box of Dread, which should be coming soon, or end of the month comic book. So stay tuned. See you later.